Welcome to highschoolsportscaravan.com. John Edwards alongside Hazelwood Central football coach Van Vanatta. And Coach, good start to your season, but before we get to how Friday night turned out for you, talk a little bit about your team this year and expectations coming into this year.
Young. That's what this year is. We're very, very young. Either that or we're very green. What I mean by that, we just don't have a lot of kids that played last year that are out on the field. So, as much as, it was a good game and a good start for us, it was a surprise to us as well because we were able to see that these kids are able to step up and can play a little football. So expectations right now, it's let's make sure we get better this week for Lafayette, and that's really where we're at right now. I'm not putting anything up here right now. We're leaving it real simple with these kids, and in all honesty, that's kind of where we're at with these guys.
You put up a lot of points against the Smet last Friday night, but your offense, over 500 yards.
Well, again, a surprise to us. We knew we had the kids there. It's just kind of one of those things. Were they going to be able to execute, on Friday night? And they did. And we still made a lot of mistakes. So, like I said, for us right now, it's just to make sure we fix those mistakes so when we get into the film room on Saturday, we can say we don't want to harp on the same things. And that's kind of where we're at with these guys. But we scored a lot of points, and I know when DeMontez broke on that, 82-yard touchdown run, I tell you what, a lot lifted off my back because I saw we were able to do some things. So.
You talk about the running back position. Talk about how special Montez is for you.
Well, Hazelwood Central, we always have a good back that does very well for us. And we knew he was special last year, but we had a couple seniors, in his place. And he got some time. But one of the things he wanted to do is kind of run to the outside. And where I'm really excited about him is he's really learned to kind of, see that hole, hit it, and get it, and not really try to always bounce. And so he is a special kid, and I think every day he's just getting better and better as well.
Talk a little bit about your defense. Gave up very few points on Friday night.
Yeah, again, very young, except at linebacker. Our linebackers, we have some experience there, and that's really where this team brings back anything from last year. It was in our linebacking course. So with those guys, they're able to point out and get our guys in the right places because they know our defense. And I think really with those guys, they kind of were upset on how they finished. And so they've really worked hard this offseason. And so we knew going in with our defense that we were going to do all right. But again, our secondary, I think we started 3 sophomores. So it's kind of one of those things, again, they did a very good job. And I think each week we're going to continue to get tested. And so that's going to be where we'll see how good, defensively we really will be.
You talk about how green your team is. How important is it for them to get snaps, whether it be in practice or games?
Well, it's important, but, we're to a point now, the number one's got to get it. And where we're trying to get our number twos is to understand we need to know alignment, assignment, technique. And so, JVCs, we lost our game, against the Smet this week, so we didn't get to see some of those kids. But we know there's some kids still in this program that can contribute to this year. So that's where we need to start getting them more and more involved. But right now, when it comes to the varsity, we're going to focus on the main guys so that we can progress as an offense and as a defense.
You get Lafayette on Friday night. Lafayette loses last week. Coming off a loss, they're going to probably come back a little bit harder maybe than they came last week. Talk about your defense. They're going to have to go up against a guy who's going to be going to Alabama and Brendan Scales.
Yeah, well, that's the very first thing I said in our team meeting is I said, guys, these Lafayette's coming off a loss, so I guarantee you they're going to practice that way, and they're going to take it out on you from what the guys last year did. So if we don't have a good week, and get better again at the things we made mistakes at against the Smet, then it's not going to matter. And honestly, I told them win or lose, that's my expectation. We have to make sure we don't harp on the same things in the weight room. The only thing I'm sure of is we'll be in the playoffs in week 10, so that's where I continue to tell them, let's just keep getting better.
Coach, I appreciate a few minutes. Best of luck Friday night. We look forward to seeing you. Van Vanatta will take on Lafayette Friday night in his Hazelwood Central Hawks. John Edwards for the High School Sports Caravan. This interview will be up all week long, as well as other interviews that we have. You're watching highschoolsportscaravan.com.